Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Did you draw your tags? Come on. I hope that you did. The tag results came out, I believe it was the 12th, just a couple of days ago. I got lucky. I was able to get both my bow tags, which it's getting to the point these years where it's, are you going to draw? We were a little nervous this year, it being, I believe, the fourth year of it being a draw only for the east side of the state. So I'm hoping that y'all got your tags, or at least something that you can be excited about going forward. Each year, I always wait until I find out for sure, and then break the bow out, right? To figure out where I'm at. Do I need arrows? Do I need broadheads? Do I need different gear? Whatever it is. This year I'm lucky I don't have to go crazy. I need nocks, so I'm short on those lighted nocks. I'm kind of really a big fan of those things this year. But you got to start now. It's the middle of June, and if you wait until August, you're waiting way too long to start getting yourself. I even had a buddy draw the Winnaha tag. Not that he needs it, because the guy kills more elk than anybody I know. But he's going to have the best tag in the state, so congrats on that. You know who you are, because there's very few of them that get that tag. So, again, hopefully you do your tag, but if you need to start getting ready for your upcoming bow season, this is the time. Get your bows tuned, figure out, much like what I'm doing, where you're at on your gear, and then start shooting, right? I'm as guilty of this as anybody else, waiting too long until you start getting yourself prepared. This is the time. And if you're getting old like me, you really need to start going. I pulled my bow back yesterday and I felt it right away. So certainly exciting stuff to look forward to. I know that I am each and every year. So September can't get here. Well, that kind of gets me to October, which is okay. See, I'm getting sidetracked already talking about that. But we got a lot of fishing to deal with between now and then. But hopefully, if you do get out there, if somebody were to ask me, well, should I go to the Willamette or should I go to the Columbia? That's a tough question, because the Willamette fishery, it's been a first light show. And there's reasons for that. Number one, that's when most of the people are on the water. Also, that's when the fish are pretty active, when the sun first comes up and hits the water, so that's kind of an obvious thing. But for the folks that have been sticking it out, or some that are waiting until the afternoon, are getting out and having really good success this week. Down in that head of the channel area and lower, and of course in the adjacent parts of the river up from the head of the channel, has been really, really productive. The hardest part, though, has been getting parking, right? Getting the boat on the water. There's only a handful of spots down there that you can launch, and folks have been getting there 4 o'clock, 4:30, and it's been getting really crowded really quick. Some folks that were messaging me this week were basically saying if you're just not prepared for that, you might not have a ton of fun, but just understand there's a lot of people trying to get out there first light, and when that happens, it can be a bit busy. Overall, though, the Columbia this week, not great, okay, but there's certainly been some decent days out there. The grass has been horrible. Depending on the zones that you happen to be fishing in, dead zone is where I spend my time. It's been bad, okay? Some days, based on where the tide is, it gets pretty ugly. And once you get that first part of the outgoing tide, then as the tide starts to wane a little bit, it gets a little bit better, but it's certainly one of those things where you just got to pay attention to it. Sometimes you're checking your gear every 10 or 15 minutes to get that grass off. So that does not help. Certainly not something you have to deal with on the Willamette currently. So a lot of folks that have been out on the Columbia have been migrating to the Willamette for the 2-fish limit, of course, and being able to fish 2 rods and avoiding the grass. So that's a difficult one. But fish counts, kind of interesting. This is something that we deal with all Chinook season, spring Chinook season in particular. The Willamette, they have not been updating at all. Ryan even pointed out this morning they've only updated the 12th this past week, so not sure exactly where they are. I would expect that there's, if it's 322 on the 12th, probably very similar to that. So, probably pushing around that 20 grand. Not great. Steelhead numbers, same thing. I wish I could say better to that. Let's take a look at at Bonneville. The numbers are going back down, totally normal. Right? There was a couple of decent days here where the counts were in the 2000s, now down to 1,500. When we see what they've been doing up there at Bonneville, that'll kind of dictate, how that migration is going to actually go. But when you start seeing this go down, you get the transition. The 15th, being tomorrow, is the official day that spring Chinook magically becomes summers, right? Well, a lot of these are probably summers that are going over already, but in the very least, shad numbers have been pretty strong. I sure wish we could see Chinook numbers like that. But the sockeye numbers are also starting to ramp up slowly, a little bit behind schedule on the sockeye, but there has been some success below Bonneville. Probably shouldn't have said, but likely areas, right? If you know the zones and the areas, the beaches in particular, and where you can target sockeye, there's been some fish caught. Steelhead fishing has been extremely slow. Not a lot of fish making their way all the way up above Bonneville, so those lower sections where you can run across those steelhead that are going into some of those tributaries in the lower part of the river is where most of the success for steelhead, at the very least, has been had. So if you can get out there, you've got some options, but again, if I were to say which place would you go to target Chinook right now, it would be play the game in the lower part of the Willamette. Again, just because of the way things have been, geez, the last 8-10 years now, it seems like that June fishery can be phenomenal. And of course, all the way into July. Now, taking a look at the conditions, this is at the falls at Oregon City. Big tides, you know, again, it's going to certainly, on that incoming tide around Oregon City, if you're going to be chasing shad around, I know that Crappie Killer is going to be going out chasing shad today, but the outgoing tide, having flow is extremely important if you're going to be targeting shad in the Oregon City area. So either find that current or make that current, meaning trolling on that incoming tide can be very productive as well. So if you can find a good slot to drop the anchor or spot lock, whatever it is that you're going to do, that's great. Just make sure that you're willing to move around and continually make sure that you are in current. If you don't have current, you're not going to have shad, at least much success. And if the sun pops up, that's going to help out as well. Columbia River, same thing, big tides, and that's why you're seeing so much grass in a lot of the areas. Dead zone, again, in particular, just because of all the islands that are around there. But you can see up at Bonneville, you know, they haven't really been messing with it. So it's just the typical time of year where you start to see those fish numbers go down that are going over Bonneville Dam. Very much normal based on this time of year. It can be kind of depressing, but getting out to try to chase one sockeye is going to be a stress, but I'm looking forward to that first chance to get a sockeye as we go forward. Okay, so you got the opportunity, though, every week, if you have that chance. I can't see it. Either way, let's take a look at National Wild Turkey Foundation's got an upcoming, it's their first chapter meeting that's going to be going on here for them this upcoming week. I believe it's the 21st. We've got Carly back there as well, and we're going to make sure that we get that weather forecast for you. Ryan, I can't see it on the monitor, but I'm assuming that we're going to go to Carly here. That's when you say yes?
Hey,
okay,
yes.
Let's go ahead and go to Carly. Carly
Hey
Olson,
there.
first things first.
I'm here.
I can't see you, but first things first, it's been a while. How have you been?
Oh, I've been great. I've been missing being here in the early morning hours. It's just, there's so much day left to have, right?
Well, I hope that they've been keeping you busy. What do we get to look forward to going forward with our weather?
Some sunshine, some sunshine. I know it's not your favorite, Owen, but for some of us, we like the clear blue skies, okay? I'm excited for it. We are starting out for some of us with a bit of cloud cover this morning, but by the time the afternoon hours hit, we'll have some nice clear blue skies. Over on the coast, it's going to be a lovely day with some lower 60s, mid-70s all up and down the I-5 corridor. We've got some mid-70s in central Oregon as well, some 80s even in eastern Oregon there too. Now, as you can see, those morning clouds will clear out. We'll have a mostly clear day. Tomorrow morning, Father's Day, will be greeted by some morning clouds once again, but never fear, those clouds will clear up again. And guess what? It's going to be even warmer tomorrow than it is today. 79 degrees potentially for Portland. We've got, once again, some 60s over on the coast. So it's going to be a great day for barbecuing, for visiting the coast. Really any good Father's Day activities that you can think of. On Monday, we've got a little bit more cloud cover to greet us there, but mostly clear day until more clouds come in the evening hours. The next time there's really any chance for some drizzle will be between Tuesday and Wednesday. Should just be a trace of rain, really. Nothing much to write home about. Saturday may be the next time we have any scattered showers there. But as you can see, we stay kind of in this mid to upper 70s range for the next several days. By the time we hit Tuesday, that's when we really peak there for our highs. And then by the time we hit Friday, we'll be back to the lower 70s. So nothing nothing too major here in terms of temperatures or rains.
Well, I like the forecast. I don't mind the rain and the cooler temperature, or not having some rain, but we need that rain so bad. So it looks like about a week or so until we might have something.
Yep, hold on till Saturday.
Sounds good. Carly, thank you very much. We appreciate you. All right, everyone, we're going to cut to a quick break, but a quick reminder, we did have one of our viewers call up and remind everyone that we've got a big sale that's going on over at Edge Rods as well. They've got a number of rods in stock that they've got a big sale going on as well. So thank you. I think that was Jack with that reminder. All right, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, special guest in studio, Cropper Killer himself. We're going to talk about some options on how you can be more successful targeting crappie, just another option that we have here in the Northwest. We'll be back in just a minute.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.